Good afternoon, everybody. What's up, family? Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast. I'm your co-host, Meldon Dickens, along with my partner,
Al Davis.
and we are glad to be here. Can you believe it, Al? We have had 1 year. This is our 1 year anniversary show. We've been doing the Real Estate Podcast for 1 year.
It's been a glorious year.
Man, time flies when you're having fun. It's been an awesome year, man. I can't believe it. And to be honest, I blew it. I saw on Facebook sending me a reminder on one of the social media posts or something that said it was a 1 year anniversary. And I said, Al, I know we took a little hiatus, but we got to get back, start doing the show, put some good content out here for you guys. It's been a tremendous year, man. We've been so busy, man. We've done about 10 properties since you last seen us, about 10 houses last year. In addition to, some other small jobs, we're getting our hands on a little bit of development. We're going to tell you about that. Of course, the mentor class has still been going on. So we've been mad busy. Of course, even in my development work with Coppin Heights CDC, got a promotion. I'm executive director now.
Yeah.
So thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Executive director.
So doing a lot of good stuff. Development, a lot of stuff is on deck for us. And so we want to shout out, really just take this time to shout out, man. Al, can you imagine? It's been a year. Some of the great people that I've been fortunate to know through you, like a good brother, Pete Pekovic.
Pete, that's my guy.
Yeah,
Love
man. Pete. And what is Victoria Properties?
Yeah, Victoria Properties, yeah.
Pete's a great guy. We've had Mark Owens on the show.
Mark, I love Mark.
Another great developer, man, guy who's into multi-unit buildings, doing great work. Then a good brother, Kemoy Martin, man.
Traveling the world.
Yeah, man, you guys got to follow him on Instagram, Kemoy Martin Adventures, man. He is, like, I'm just super envious, man. He's everywhere. Luxembourg, Bangladesh, Bora Bora, just Italy, everywhere, man. He's everywhere, man, doing some of the most exotic hotels and just traveling. But he's a good brother to know if you're interested in that Airbnb, that long-term rental part of the real estate business. So we've had him on. Shout out to Kemoy Martin Adventures, also Victoria Properties, people for gold. Well, also my man Jeff Schiller.
That's my guy, Jeffrey P.
Yeah.
Jeffrey P. Schiller with True Title in Clarksville, Maryland.
Yeah,
So if you need any title work, go there. If you need any hard money, holler at Jeff. He got you covered. Make
That's
sure you tell
hard
him.
money lenders, right?
Yeah, HMB, Hard Money Bankers.
Yeah, hard money
Yeah,
bankers.
so tell him Mel and Al sent you with Sky Miles LLC. He'll take care of you.
Yeah, man. So that's another good brother that we've had on. In addition to other brothers doing great work. I'm sure you guys seen them. Khalil Upta, Charm City Buyers. They doing similar programs similar to us with their mentorship program. They got a lot of projects going on in East Baltimore now. He's even got a few from the ground project, developmental projects going, in addition to doing the rehabs with the students. He's doing some great work. And then Miss Teresa Stevens.
Oh, Teresa, yeah. Miss Teresa, I love her.
From DHCD, she's been I'm gonna shout her out. She's been on the show talking to us about acquiring properties, some of the ways that you can navigate with housing in the city. And so she's been on the show as well. So we've had a good group of guests, and we wanted to shout all of them out. You can check them out equally on their own websites. And go back and take a look at some of our older shows, because some good information is out there. We've been talking and picking Al's brain, the real estate guru's brain, getting some information just about what we're doing. And so I can't believe, again, it's been a year. We've done about 10 houses in that time, in addition to our wholesaling business, which we kind of keep that going up. So anybody looking for any wholesale deals, hit us up. We got a list that we send out. But we can also send you some stuff if you want. I know Al's got a couple other deals with some banks. He can talk to you about that too.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hit us up, Sky Miles LLC, for the mentorship program. Listen, we'll work something out with you. I know if you look at that cost, that might scare a lot of people, but we've been willing to work something out with you. Come get this knowledge. Come learn this knowledge. Maybe you're not ready right now. Maybe you're not ready for 6 months. Maybe you won't be ready for another year. But get the knowledge. Get with somebody who knows the game, who knows the business. Let me tell you something. I've only been knowing Al for a long time. I've only been working with him about 4 years. But in that time, what I've learned has been invaluable to me. I could not put a price tag on it. So just to be able to, for myself, as I told you, I got a promotion, as I said, working with a nonprofit, Coppin Heights CDC. in West Baltimore, and just to have that knowledge, even though some of the work is slightly different, I'm doing larger scale development as far as scatter site development, but it's development in and of itself. And so having the concept, the process in your mind of how to assess a property, how to think about if the deal is going to be a pencilable deal, a deal that the bank is going to pencil in terms of that, just simply mean they're going to fund it. This is how we do it, and so it's been invaluable. So I say get with somebody who know. If you don't want to get with us, that's fine, but please get with somebody you know. I want Al to talk about this because we talking about this real estate thing, and I don't want to put nobody's names out there, but we met a young brother. Al met this young brother who had been asking him, had been watching him move in the community, and he started to do real estate himself. And I was giving some tutelage, not necessarily through the mentorship program, just picking his brain. And why don't you tell the situation, man, about what happened to this brother? He kind of went and got some folks who were not honest. So tell a little bit about that story, man.
I think we're going to take time to ask everyone that if you want to get into real estate, I want you to be cognizant of who you're dealing with. Because when you go to get mentorship, like it's a lot of people out there that might be flashy, might be on the private jets, might be driving expensive cars, but they might not have the experience that you need to show you how to do real estate. They just might want to get you in and take the class. You really got to look into them and see what projects they've done, how's their name in the community, you know what I'm saying, their experience, and that they're truly honest. Like a lot of people draw you in. I had a guy that I was just giving them information. Like people call me all the time and just ask me, how do I do this, Al? I'm trying to buy this house. I'll walk you through it. Like no one could ever say that Al never helped them. So I'll answer any question if you can catch me, you know? So I would help him, but he seen a guy that was real flashy on the internet, Instagram or whatever. So he was saying that he'll teach him real estate.
Right.
But it's $100,000. He wanted $100,000 to teach him how to do real estate, flip houses. So he went and gave him the $100,000, and the guy stopped calling him back and all that. So then he was calling me saying, "Can I get a lawyer to get my money back from this guy?" and stuff like that. And you know, it's just people you run into. You can't, by the facade, you can't really be fooled by that. You gotta make sure that people got substance. If they're gonna teach you how to do real estate, you gotta make sure that they've done it in the past and that you've seen their successes, like literally seen their successes, and other people around them contribute to their success, so you can hear good things about them. Don't just pick somebody off the internet and go throw them $100,000, $50,000, $20,000 to teach you real estate, and they really not doing nothing except collecting money from people, and then collect the money for other people to pay those people and things like that. So make sure you be cognizant and do your investigating on people.
Yeah, I was to say, just make sure you get, if you're following anybody, and I know a lot of people are teaching. I know we talked about the brother Khalil Upta. He's a good brother. Charm City Buyers. They do the same thing. They do a mentorship program, but he's proven, right? He's proven, has a decent track record, has a decent reputation, and there's somebody you can put your hands on, right? I'm not saying you might want to go with them. I don't know what their prices is. We're not here necessarily to promote his brand, but what I'm trying to say is that, you know, there are a lot of people out there, you know, now that I started the real estate podcast, just on my social media, I get all kinds of real estate people wanting to follow me on Instagram, wanting to follow me on Facebook, hit me up on LinkedIn. And people are putting information out there, and that's good. A lot of the information is good. I tell you, I follow my brothers Rashad Balal and can't think of the other brother's name, but a group called Earn Your Leisure, right? They big time. They going all around doing seminars, and they doing great work. But they got a track record. They're proven, and so and not to say that everybody who's small is not proven. Everybody who's large is proven too. I'm just trying to say, do your research is basically what Alan tried to say. In this situation, you know, I know the guy looked flashy, you know, he had a nice car, everybody wanted to drive a nice car, everybody want to look good, want to floss, as they say, stun on them, whatever you want to call it, whatever the term is today. But the thing is, man, please do your research. You don't want to give somebody your hard-earned money, then you're trying to get your money back.
Right.
You know, that's money you could be investing in the property. That's money you could be paying someone else to actually mentor you and walk you through the process. And again, I'm not discounting anybody, but I just say make sure you do your due diligence in terms of how you want to get with somebody in the mentoring game. Because I think it's a lot of people out here saying they know stuff, but again, you want somebody that's proven. You want somebody that's proven, somebody that's trustworthy. And somebody's gonna meet your needs, because some folks may know it, but they may be too busy, right? You may need more hands-on. You may need more sort of hand-holding, for lack of a better term. You may not do well just sitting in a classroom with 30 other people, going through some PowerPoint presentations. You may need to actually get in. That's kind of how I am. I'm the type of person, I love the way that we do our mentorship. When I started working with Al, I actually can jump in the truck with him, go to the site, go to Home Depot, go look at the houses, when people are sending us the deals, and do our assessments. And so that for me was more important. The concept, I can get around it, but I actually needed to see it and feel it. That helped me get my mind wrapped around it. And so everybody learns differently, of course, but we just wanted to share that, man, because I know it's a lot of people out here talking on mentorship, and if you give them money, they'll show you how to flip your money and do that. There's a lot of people that's doing crowdfunding. In other words, you don't have to put up, the money to invest in a property. They're using multiple investors on one property, right? So they may ask you to put up $5,000, $7,000 a piece, and then say you can get a return on your money. And those are some good opportunities too. But again, I always say, do your homework, man. Ask around. It's interesting, particularly in a city like Baltimore, and even the whole DMV area. You'd be surprised who knows each other, who's running across each other, and then you'd be like, wow, he know him, or they know them. And so just do your due diligence, do your homework.
Yeah. And if I can say this, Mel, and I try to convey this to everyone, this game is very, very simple. It's a simple game. So it's just a lot of hard work and a lot of relationships. So if you can put your relationships with the hard work, and you got the basic structure and know what to do, if somebody can just give you the basic structure and you're willing to work hard, it's a simple game to make money in this thing. So just make sure you put yourself around the right people and build the right relationships.
Yeah. So now, man, it's been a year, man. It's been exciting. The weather's changing again. But there's been some changes a little bit in the real estate market, right? I know interest rates have gone up. So it kind of, I don't want to say it slowed down, but it seems like, to me, this just in my opinion and what I've been witnessing in our work together, is that more people are trying to do rentals now instead of doing flips, because the interest rates going up, and those price point home buyers, which would be that first time home buyer around 200,000, 175, 220, 230. That's a little of that first time home buyer. That interest rate going up, these 3-4 points really hurts them, because that knocks them out of being able to qualify for a house, versus now they can't qualify.
That's true.
Just those few interest rates, those points hurt, because now that their mortgage payment goes up a significant amount, just by those few percentage points. So tell me, what have you been seeing, man, over the past year, since we got started in the market, man?
Well, what I've been seeing is, like, because of the interest rates, because the increase on rising interest rates. Like, I'll give you an example of the last two houses we had one on Bel Air.
Bel Air Road, yeah.
Which when we was working on it, the interest rates didn't max out, but then they maxed out when we finished it. So you talking, like, for example, the interest rate was 4%, went to 8%. Well, then if you had $1,000 mortgage at the 4%, it's double, so there's gonna be a $2,000. So only people that could afford $1,000, they can't afford the $2,000, so they're out the market.
Right.
So we had to take the property, which we originally planned on listing at $180,000. We ended up selling it for $150,000, which is a $30,000 loss. So you looking at the person that's doing the rehab, that's doing the flip, they looking at making $180,000 on a deal. They lose $30,000, which is not a little tiny bit of money. So we had to end up selling it for $150,000. So that's a big difference and a big impact on the flipper, or the person that's doing the homeowner flip.
Right.
So those are the type of impacts that the interest rates are having and that the market is having. So instead of taking a $30,000 loss, a lot of people, and what we're gonna do, if we didn't get that $150,000 buyer, we're just gonna turn it into a rental, because we're in it at 107. So we're just gonna take the 107 that we owe, refinance it, pull the money out, and put a rent in there to cover the refinance amount. So I'll give you an example if you want.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Go for the listeners. I mean, I know it. Come on.
So, for instance, we wanted to get 180 for the house. We was in it at 107,
Right.
so we would have made 73,000. We couldn't get a buyer at 180. We could only take a buyer for 150 because no one was even offering above 155.
Right.
So, if we decided to leave it as a rental, we would have been in it at 107. I would have got a renter. I could have got a renter for that house for $1,800 a month. Now,
Three-bedroom house. Yeah.
right. I was only in it for 107. I would have went in and we got appraisal. The appraisal only came back at 155. So I would have refinanced it at 155, took out 80% of that, right? Whatever the 80% of the 155 was, would have been our payments. So whatever the rental was paying was the 1,800 in rent, would have covered our rental, our mortgage amount at the 155, plus in excess of what the mortgage amount is, the rent would have covered it. Instead of just selling it for the 150, and then when the market hopefully come back around, maybe we could get 180 for it in the future.
Right.
But we'd have got an income stream during the time that the interest rates were high, hoping with the hopes that it'll come down.
Yeah. It's interesting, man, because I know in terms of the homeowner flips and the you know, again, I haven't been doing it as long as you, but most people have been looking for multi-units. So people hit me up, you got any multi-units? People are trying to get you know, properties where they can get some equity in them, but they can get passive income. A lot of people are trying to get that passive income. So, you know, if you got a multi-units, even the smaller ones at 3 or 4 or 5 units, but if you got 3 units, let's say in the house, and you know, you bring in $400 a month over, you know, what your mortgage is, it's $1,200 a month, right? And so, you know, that's a nice look. You do that 3 or 4 times, now you're looking at 36, you know, to close to maybe $5,000 a month passive income that you have coming in addition to it. I mean, you'll have your property management charges, of course you gotta work that out. But, I mean, a lot of people, that's what they're looking to do right now until the market kind of changes. And so I think that's still a good opportunity, because what I say is, in a market like Baltimore, everything is going up. So when I started 4 years ago, we were getting wholesale deals at 45, 50,000, sometimes lower than that, but average around 45,000, 50,000. We would add our assignment contract fee on that. And you know, typically we're not greedy, so we might only add a $5,000 fee. Now I'm seeing those same properties. So I'll give you an example. We got 2 houses that's getting ready to come online on Moreland Avenue. I think one is ready. But we sold a house. One of our students came through, sold the house. This was back in 2020, I believe, 21. 180, right? I think he paid 55 for that house. We had a contract on a house 2 blocks down in the 1500 block for 45 2 years ago. But we just sold one earlier this year or late last year for 80.
Right.
Same block. Matter of fact, 10 houses down. It's 10 addresses down. The house we had under contract for 45, the deal fell through. It was an older couple that was, you know, looking to relocate. But make a long story short, we had the contract for 45, but not even 2 years later, maybe a year and a half later, the same block, 10 doors down, the house goes for 85. Somebody just 80 on the wholesale market. We sold it.
Need the same amount of work.
Same amount of work, right? Then somebody sent us a house right next door to the house we had, and the bottom line, the lowest we could get on the go was 65. So, you know, which didn't leave us enough margin, because we would try to probably put a fee on it so that we can make some money. What I'm trying to say is, within a year and a half, you got $20,000 to almost $40,000 increase in just wholesale properties. So what I'm saying to folks, and I would encourage people, if somebody came to me and thought I was an expert, I'm not Al Davis, but I got some knowledge, listen, still buy what you can buy now. If you can't flip it, rehab it, get a tenant in there. I know sometimes people don't want to deal with tenants. It's a headache, right? I don't want to be chasing nobody for my rent. Listen, tell them the story about the programs, right? 13 programs. But 5 years from now, those prices are gonna go up. I just told you the wholesale market went up almost $20,000 to $40,000 in less than 2 years. So imagine what the after repair value, what the ARV value is gonna be. And so as Baltimore is starting to gentrify, I know people don't like that term. Property values are gonna do nothing but go up. So now talk a little bit about the programs, man, how that could be for rentals and people want to get into rentals.
Yeah, so with the market being what it is, if you want to if you're looking for rentals, like you talked earlier about the multi-units, you could get a multi-unit, but remember, because a lot of investors call me and they get in over their head because they think they're gonna do a multi-unit rehab for the same they're gonna do a house rehab, and it's just not like that, because if you got a 3-unit apartment building, you have to look at it like it's 3 houses. So if you're putting $50,000 in rehab in a house, you're gonna do 50 times 3, so you can't think logically that you're gonna spend the same amount on a 3-unit on a rehab that you're gonna spend on a single family home. It's just not like that, and people get misinformed as far as the rehab amounts. But if you do decide to go to a rental, we work with about 13 different subsidized rental programs, and the difference has been over the years since the interest rates went up. The rent reasonableness has went up. I got a property that the tenant moved out a year ago, and I was renting it for $1,600. I rehabbed the property after they destroyed it, and now the program is paying me $2,000. $2,000 on Decker Avenue in Baltimore. So you figure I bought the property for $40,000, put 40 in it, and you get in $2,000 a month for that. So that's a pretty good return on your investment. And the property is also probably worth about, I'm trying to sell it with the rent in it for like 200 or 180 to 200. So that's a good return on your investment. So with the 13 programs, all of them are subsidized, so you don't have to pay as much attention as to collecting the money from the tenant.
Right.
You know that the money's gonna come every month from the program. Right. And that plays well when you're trying to do your budget and you wanna know exactly what's coming in every month, as opposed to, are you gonna have to do an eviction or go and knock on their door and collect the money from the tenant? So
right.
The subsidized programs is something good. We've been dealing with them for about 15 to 20 years.
So work with me a little bit with me on that, Al, because now, I hate to say it, but some people have prejudice against people who are, or subsidized programs, right? They tend to think, oh, I don't want nobody tearing up my property, blah, blah, blah.
True.
But the flip side is most people, now I heard a lot of investors prefer that, right? Because they want guaranteed money. They don't want to chase nobody for their money. Even if the person has impeccable credit,
Exactly.
you know, a market tenant can come in and say, well, hey, I got an issue, I'm putting my rent in escrow because you ain't cut the grass or whatever, right?
And they'll do it.
So, give us a little bit, I mean, maybe the pros and cons. I'm sure you dealt with both, right? You dealt with market tenants. That's just somebody who's paying cash out of their pocket. They're not getting any subsidy from any government or housing agency. Subsidized programs is obviously Section 8, what have you, where the agency is paying their rent automatically.
Right.
Now, I do know there's different stipulations you have to, requirements you have to meet in terms of how the property. Could you talk a little bit about that, Al, like what the pros and cons?
Some of the pros and cons is that some of the programs we deal with are income-based, some of them are health-based, some, like, we deal with programs with people with mental problems, we deal with programs with people with income problems, people with homeless problems, we house them, they go get a voucher, the program calls us, asks do we have a 3-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and then we show the properties. But where a lot of people and investors make mistakes is they don't check the backgrounds. Like, we actually go see where the person lived previously, see their living conditions, because a good judge on how they're gonna keep your property now is how they keep your property in the past. We check their background, check their credit, check their rental reference, and like I say, we go see where they currently live before we make a decision on whether to put them in our properties. So you still have to do even though the program's gonna pay the rent, you still wanna know you're getting a decent tenant in your property. So we do our due diligence to make sure we're making a good decision for a long-term tenant, because we want our average tenant stays 5 to 7 years. And we want to continue that because we want to take care of them, but we also want them to take care of our properties.
Yeah. So like, I mean, now there's some different requirements though, right? I know there's a new requirement in the city. If you're gonna rent your property, regardless, you have to register that property with the city, right?
Yeah,
That's even the market. But isn't there a difference requirement in terms of what requirements or guidelines that the property or standards the property has to meet?
Yes.
And with the programs, right?
Yes. Well, if you do a rehab and you're gonna rent it, you have to have a use and occupancy permit. You can't rent it to the programs without a use and occupancy. But in order to get the use and occupancy permit, you have to pull your standard permits, your MEPs, your mechanicals, your electrical, your plumbing, and your building permit, and you have to go through the whole system and make sure that the city comes out and inspects it and passes it. Once they pass it, and you do your final building and final everything, you'll get another inspection for use and occupancy. Then once you get that, you have to get a rental license, which you have to get a whole nother home inspection for your rental license. Then you have to get, you gotta get your rental license, and you have to get your, just register with the city as a non-owner occupant. Means you don't live in the property.
Right.
So you gotta pay that fee, then you have to pay the other fee, make sure your property is registered. You have to get the inspection. To even register your property, you gotta get it inspected and pass inspection. So you gotta go through all those procedures in order just to get your property rented.
Yeah.
And your lead test.
Now this is all for if you want to use subsidized program.
Yeah, if
right?
you're gonna do subsidized, you have to get a lead test. You can even get a risk reduction test, a limited lead free or lead free. We get all lead free because we don't want to get sued. One lawsuit, lead lawsuit, could be the end of your business. Like if somebody sue you for $1 million and it goes, because a lead lawsuit, LLC won't protect you.
Right.
It actually penetrates the LLC and go to your individual assets.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order to protect ourselves, I'm not telling everybody what to do, but I'm just saying to protect ourselves, because one of our partners is a lawyer, we make all our properties lead free. So, when they came to sue us, we got sued twice. But we won because when the city came to inspect for lead, they didn't find any lead.
Mm-hmm.
So then the tenant that's trying to sue everybody, they could go down the line and sue every landlord that they've been to house. And you don't have to be on the lease. Somebody can just come visit the house for one day and sue you. So they can't test it for high lead levels. So by us having all our houses lead free, the city will come in and test us. And when they see it wasn't any lead in there, then we exempt from the lawsuit. They got to go to the next landlord. But as soon as they find a landlord that have elevated lead levels, then they can focus on them and sue them. $1 million lawsuit. Most people don't have $1 million in the bank, so that's going to bankrupt them pretty much.
Yeah, the lead. So I want to say in cities like Baltimore, if you're doing any rehabs, Baltimore, Philly, Detroit, Chicago, lead paint is a big thing in a lot of the older cities. And we had one with the CDC, man. We bought a property. We bought a property off the wholesale market. But when we bought it, we didn't know it had already been cited for lead. Al know this story.
Yeah.
And so because that, it wasn't cited by the city, it was cited by the health department. But we didn't know that. It was in the city records. Somehow they didn't catch that. It was during COVID. I'm not blaming the city. I'm not going to, point my fingers at the bureaucracy. All I'm just going to say real quick is it cost us an extra $20,000 to do lead abatement because we had to get a licensed lead abatement company to get the lead away. Now, I'm going to be honest. I saw what they did. They do nothing different than what we did. Only thing I saw they did was they supposed to have on the suits, and they supposed to do sprays to wet the stuff down, which some of that they did do. A lot of it was just a regular demo, which our guys would do. I'm not trying to say cut corners, but I'm just trying to say lead is it's a big thing. Make sure, and that's why it's important. I would go the route I was telling you to go. Do lead free. A lot of people do lead reduction. I guess that's when you encase it. Yeah, they encase the lead or something like that.
Right.
Encapsulate. So, but yeah, when I found out that piece about you don't even have to be on the lease, so you could just go visit your friend, go visit your grandma, and somebody tests positive and lead was in that property, you could technically be held liable for that.
Yes.
And you didn't even know, like you were just renting a property, and somebody's cousin, somebody's grandson or daughter could come visit, and they can say they were exposed to lead in your property, and you could be held liable. And we live in a litigious society, so just make sure you protect yourself with respect to that. So now we're thinking we should be focusing on maybe getting some units and acquiring some units. Because one of the things I want to figure out, man, we can talk about it a little bit, is how do I take my units? So if I got 10 units, and let's say they're all valued at 150, right, 150 to 175, and I'm like 50% equity in them.
Okay, you're in for 75,000.
So I'm in for 75. So I got about 75,000 in times 10, right?
Okay.
I guess in equity. So you're saying that's on 750.
Right.
How can I try to maybe leverage that, to do something else? Like if I want to do a larger development, if I wanted to buy some land and develop it, or maybe like for, our dream is one day to do hard money ourselves.
Right.
How can we leverage
That's
that?
the goal.
Man, talk about that.
Well, when I started like 99, 2000. So by 2004, 2005, I had 47 properties, right? But I didn't know what I was doing. I just was buying them and fixing them up and renting them. So I really didn't know the business back then. And somebody introduced me to a banker. I didn't even know what a bank, I thought a bank was somebody just worked at the bank. But this guy actually works with companies. So he came to me, met with me in my office. He did a spreadsheet for me with all my properties, how much income coming in, how much equity was the properties worth. And he's like, as long as you got, this is something I never forget, as long as you got income and assets, this is what he told me, I don't know if it was true or not, he said, as long as you got income and assets, you're really not a big risk to the bank, right? So we valued all my properties at a certain amount. He said all of them put together is worth this amount. I only owe this amount, so he could give me a line of credit for this amount.
Right.
And just secure the line of credit with some of my properties.
Wow.
So he gave me a big old line of credit. And I didn't have, just securing it with my properties because I'd accumulated enough properties and enough equity in the properties to use for collateral on a line of credit. So that's basically how I got my big start.
Yeah, so I think, man, that's good, man, because I think that's the thing where I think people need to think about scaling up. You know, it's one thing to have 3 or 4 or 5 units, but then taking some of that money, but even if you take that equity out, just bank it, you know, or you invest in the stock market if you want to do that, or I know people may be going against crypto now, but you know, you can get into this other stuff you can get into. Or if you take that money out, like you got to send a child or grandchild to college, like you can take that money out, send your grandchild, you know, to law school or send somebody to school.
It's been a blessing. Got my kids all the way through school. And then you can just accumulate your assets, and I would just let the bank hold it and just tell them to give you $1 million. Just let me get $1 million, you can hold my properties. And you can take the $1 million, you can flip that into $3 million easy.
Right.
So I mean, I encourage people to try to accumulate their assets. It's a simple process. Like I keep telling everybody, it's very simple. It's just you gotta know the right people, have the relationships, and know the procedures. Know the strategy. That's it.
Take time. And I think times like this, like a lot of people are smart enough to know when these trends come, maybe to cash out or to do something different. So I think that's just something, you gotta be intentional about it. And I think, the critical point is, we've been talking about this, surround yourself with people. Surround yourself with good relationships. You've been talking about
trustworthy people.
Yeah, we've been talking about that, man. Like building good relationships. But I think also sometimes just having conversations with people, because you kind of get to see where people are, what the trends are, how people are moving with real estate, investment. There are a lot of people doing some good work. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are shady. But but I think for me, I'm never a type of person that wouldn't have a conversation with somebody, right? Because even that person who may be doing some unscrupulous business practices can teach you something. There's always some lessons in that. All right, so we get ready to stop for a little break, but we're gonna gotta shout out our Hand Radio family, King Richard Good. My man Greg is on the sound, doing our technician stuff today for us. And again, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Go to the Real Estate Podcast on all social media platforms. We on Instagram _Real Estate _podcast, Real Estate Podcast on LinkedIn and Facebook, and definitely go to Sky Miles LLC for any of your mentoring programs, any properties you want to buy, sell, or rent. And we look forward to checking y'all out very soon. We're going to take y'all to a couple of our properties. You're going to see that a little later in the show, some of the work we're doing right now. Some great work we're doing in West Baltimore, redeveloping a community that has been challenged, that has not gotten a lot of investment in the last few years. So see y'all in a few.
Another one we have, we bought like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors down. There's another one that we're working on. So it was a total gut rehab as well. So we basically gutted this down, framed it back up, and you can see how we doing the mechanicals in here, the plumbing, the electric, and the HVAC. So it's almost done and ready for inspection. We'll show y'all that. Watch the step. As you see, we gotta do the whole porch. Everybody else got porches, we gotta put a porch on here. This layout is a little different. In this one, we decided to expose the brick on this side. We ran the recessed lights up here, so once we put the shiny stuff on the bricks and the lights shining off the recessed lights on the bricks, we think that's gonna give that a certain appeal, because this one doesn't have the lights on the step. But we think we got another appeal with this one. And the one down the street that we doing, a couple more doors down, we doing a tray ceiling with the recessed light and exposed brick. So we just trying to give a different appeal to each house to make it a little bit more marketable. You think somebody trying to come in? That's what I keep telling you, man. I got. Yeah, we'll put it up again.
No, I'm great calling me. I told you
It's wrong, right?
Alright.
I'm just gonna put it up again.
See, that's what I'm talking about, but you always got to.
Exactly. But you're not cleaning up and you're not doing shit right.
So this is 2910. This is another one of the properties that we're doing with the West North Avenue Revitalization Project. So, as Mr. Davis said, you come on here, open floor plan is the concept. That's what everybody wants. So again, we'll do the L shape in the kitchen. It will be a bar heel, countertop, kitchen sink, cabinetry, refrigerator, and then there's a half bath there on the end. Then if you turn around here, you see wash and dry stackable, because this basement is kind of short. So some of these houses, when you think about the codes that was when they were built 40s and 50s, are very different now. And so, you know, basically it's a short basement. The expense of digging out the basement didn't weigh, the cost didn't matter. So we figured we would just put the washer and dryer here, clean the basement up, make it nice and easy if they want to just have it for storage. You see the ductwork is already done. The recessed lights have already been run. Again, like Al said, exposed brick, that's another little feature we're gonna do. We're gonna keep that exposed brick over there, so we'll glaze that brick so it looks nice and shiny. So just another little feature to give it a pop. Mr. Davis can take you upstairs. Again, we'll have 2 full bathrooms upstairs, as well as a master bathroom.
And in this house, we had to do all new floors. We had to rebuild all the floors. So as you can see, we got the floorboards in here, and we put all new staircase in here. So everything in this house is new from the roof to the floors and the staircase. Watch your step. This one is slightly different. We put all 3 bedrooms upstairs in here. So as you can see in here, this is gonna be the doorway to the bedroom. So when you come in the bedroom, right there is gonna be a full bath. That's the doorway you coming in the bath to the right. This is the bedroom, and the closet is gonna be right here. So this basically gonna be a master bedroom with a full bath. Somebody had whoever lived here years ago, looked like they had the Scarface thing with a Miami thing in here. And then if you come back here, we put the middle bedroom right here. The hallway bath right here. And then if you come right here to the bedroom, it's gonna be the back bedroom. So, as you can see, all the ductwork is done and passed inspection. All the plumbing is done and passed inspection. All the electric is done and passed inspection. This is the first inspection. So all of that's passed the first inspection. So it's called the rough-in inspection. So you gotta get the framing inspection. Once that's done, we'll put the insulation in. Then we start drywalling, and it'll take us 30 days from that point to finish the house and get ready to show.
So we contracted with Sky Miles. So as I told y'all, I'm wearing a couple hats now. In addition to doing some consulting with Sky Miles, I'm executive director of Copper Heights CDC. This is one of the properties on the West North Avenue Revitalization Project. So you can see here, we just got the windows in, built the frames around the windows, and our general contractor, Mr. Al Davis, real estate guru I call him. So we out here just taking a look at after the rain yesterday. So as you can see up top here, we need to put some gutters in. The roof has been done, but we haven't put the gutters in. And we got to do some point work around the bricks. So we're just kind of looking at that today. So what you think, Al?
Yeah, it looked good. The windows was put in the other day, so we got to fill in the bricks. We're also working on another one right down there, like where the new door is down there. So if we get all this stabilized, pretty much stabilized, so that the rainwater won't get in and damage the plywood floors and things like that, we should be okay. And if you come in, we show you some of the stuff that we're doing on the inside to get the house prepared for the inspection, for the building inspection, the HVAC inspection, the plumbing inspection, and electrical inspection. So we show you. As you can see, all of the properties, we get drawings. When we first start doing the properties, we get drawings. on where the layout is, where the kitchen gonna go, where the bedroom's gonna go, the bathroom's gonna go. And then our guys come in and follow the drawings and they frame the whole house up accordingly. So in this house, we put in a bathroom in the back, and this is gonna be the kitchen where all the cabinets are gonna go and the refrigerator gonna go right here. So we're gonna do something special with this property.
So
I'll let Meldon tell you.
it's gonna be an L that come out right here. So right here it'll be like a bar. So you have probably two seats and a stool on this side you're facing in. You see here the plumbing is already in for the kitchen. So this will be rest of the countertop cabinets. Refrigerator will be there. So this will be an open concept. If you go look here, so you can see as you're coming in the front door, this will all be totally open concept. So you can see the plumbing is already done. The HVAC is run. The electrical is pretty much in. And so it's pretty much moving along according to schedule.
See the recessed lights in the ceiling?
Recessed lights, yes sir. So now the windows are in. So it's looking good. I'll show you downstairs real quick.
I want to show them the light things.
All right, go
Here was something we added. I know people gonna copy on this one, like they did my tray ceilings in the other property. So this is something Meldon want us to do in here. When you come up and you step on the stairs, the staircase is gonna light up as you're going up and down the stairs. So that's a feature that we putting on just for marketing purposes, curb appeal, things of that sort. So Meldon thought it'd be nice to put that in here to go along with the recessed lights and things of that sort. So that's something else that we got in here. So go ahead, Mel, you go ahead.
So yeah, so again, this is like I said, one of the properties, West North Avenue Revitalization Project, and we having this process. When this house will be done, it'll be a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, a master bath upstairs, a bathroom in the hall, so 2 baths, 2 bedrooms upstairs. It'll be a half bath downstairs and another full bath in the basement with a bedroom, of course a seating area, and a bedroom actually in the basement. So these nice homes, nice spaces, trying to rebuild the community. And so we certainly keep you up to date, up to date and posted when we actually finish. Go upstairs.
Yeah, keep up with us on our Instagram and all that stuff, so we let y'all know the process of the property. So I like doing the before, during, and after videos and pictures, so that way you can get a good idea how we do our properties.
It's upstairs. So how this is going to work is you'll put the hallway in. This will be a master bath right here. So we'll build a hallway. It'll be a door to come in the master bathroom, master bedroom. So there's the master bath. Come here, it's the master bedroom. Closet here, so everything is framed. Ductwork is already run. Electrical is already in. We're making good progress here. Got some pretty decent ceilings, some height in here as well. Come on to the back. Got a hallway closet here. Go in the back. There's another bedroom. Bath, full bath, closet, another bedroom. So it's almost like, in a sense, it's almost like 2 master bedrooms upstairs. But it's just kind of the way it's cut, because this house has this little alcove sort of cut in the middle. It took away from the 3rd bedroom. So just to kind of open it up and try to do it differently, that's why we put a 4-bedroom in the basement, so you can still get 3 bedrooms out of this property. So we didn't want to chop up the bedroom size. So you can see this is a pretty long bedroom right here. There's plenty of light. Got a window on the side, 2 windows on the back, and good stuff. Also, sometimes with these 3rd bedroom houses, there's no natural light, so that's a drawback too. So that's why we cut it like this. But I think it's gonna be a good house for homeowner, first-time homeowner, home buyer. Check us out, Sky Miles LLC. Hey family, how y'all doing? This is Meldon Dickens.
And I'm Al Davis.
We're coming to you from the Real Estate Podcast. Listen, we just want to thank everybody, man, for our 1-year anniversary. I cannot believe 1 year has gone by since we launched the Real Estate Podcast. Al, it's been an amazing year, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thanks to all our guests. Thanks for everybody who supported us, to like and subscribe.
Certainly want to thank Ham Radio family. Richard Good Ham Radio. You can catch us every Monday at 6 p.m. You can catch us on all social media platforms. Also, please, we want to thank all of our guests so far this year. Brother Khalil Upta, Charm City Buyers, Mark Owens Properties,
Pete COVID.
Yeah, Pete COVID, Victoria Properties.
Jeffrey P. Schiller with True Title.
Yes, Jeffrey Schiller, Mr. Teresa Stevens for DHCD, and my brother Kemoy Martin. Can't forget him, Kemoy Martin, super guy adventures, and all our other guests. If we miss you, we just want to shout everybody, all our friends and supporters. Please check us out, Real Estate Podcast on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please like and subscribe.
Don't forget about our SKYY Miles, MYLES, and our mentor program if you want to do any research on that.
Peace.